Hey, I'm Wegener and welcome back to the Early Bird Photo News. First of all, a big thank you for all the well wishes under my last news video. I've been dealing with some health issues for years, and at the end of 2022 it got so bad that I was down to like 110 pounds and really struggling. Since then, things had improved steadily until recently when it all started to flare up again. So I'm still dealing with the up and downs of what's happening, but I'm working on it and your support helps a lot. Anyway, on to something much better, like this brand new magazine cover that I got this month of this beautiful photo of a rose-crowned fruit dove that I took a few years ago. What made this and many of my other covers possible is that I don't shoot too tight in the field and rather leave a little bit more space around my subject and crop afterwards. If you fill your frame edge to edge with the subject, it makes it almost impossible to use it in different design layouts. Whereas if you leave a little bit more room around your subject and crop later, you stay completely flexible and can even crop a vertical cover out of a horizontal shot. This is also the reason that I love high megapixel cameras, because they give you exactly that flexibility to choose many different crops out of the same image. And if you want to see how this whole shot came together in the field, I have a full video from the shoot linked for you down there in the description. Nikon kicked things off yesterday with the development announcement of their newest TC lens, a 120 to 300mm f2.8. And this one has me genuinely excited. Lately, I've been shooting in a lot of low light situations where I need a fast aperture and high shutter speeds to be able to freeze the action. For instance, with the glossy black cockatoos coming in for a drink or shooting smaller birds in the rainforest. And here, a lens like that would truly shine. Having not only the ability to zoom in and out, but also flick in the teleconverter is what truly sets this lens apart. What we don't know yet is weight, size, and price. I'm hoping it will come as close as possible to 2 kilos or like 4 to 4.5 pounds and doesn't cost a fortune, even though rumor has it it might come in at around $8,000 US. So probably not a cheap lens, but it slots perfectly into Nikon's already amazing lineup of wildlife lenses and fills that gap if you need something wider and faster. There's no release date yet either, but I'm definitely looking forward to getting my hands on the lens and testing it out in the field. Over the last 2 weeks, I've been shooting a lot and I got a few images I'm really excited about, but I can't share them quite yet. But keep an eye on the channel. I have a feeling next week will be quite a busy one. Speaking of next week, that also seems to be the time when Sony will be announcing their new A7R6 camera and a 100 to 400mm lens. They dropped a teaser yesterday, so I think we can call that one confirmed. From all the specs I've been reading on the rumor sites, this sounds like an amazing camera. Potentially stack sensor, over 60 megapixels, up to 30 frames per second. Now that's some serious specs and could also truly rival the A1 II. We will know for sure in a few days, but I love seeing Sony push their camera lineup like that. Potentially also releasing a fast aperture 100 to 400mm lens is also a very interesting move and a great addition to their lineup, and it would also pair very well with the 400 to 800mm lens, giving you a great 1-2 punch, so I'm definitely looking forward to what's coming next week. Apparently Canon is also planning to present a few new products on the same day just before Sony next week. The first one is a video-centric camera, the R6V, and the second one is a 20 to 50mm zoom lens. Details are still a little bit thin on the camera, but it seems to sit somewhere between the Canon C50 and the Canon R6 Mark III, having very similar video features and also sharing the same sensor. I'm not sure yet whether this camera will have IBIS or not, but I'm expecting it to not have an EVF and some form of active cooling, so we're not having to deal with too much overheating. What's interesting is that this is Canon's third body with the same R6 Mark III sensor released in the last sort of 8 months. And to make this new body quite compelling, I think it would have to sit price-wise well below the R6 Mark III, otherwise what's the point? Maybe the strangest thing about the new camera is the name, R6V. Because does that actually imply that the Canon R6 series will end after the R6 Mark IV because the R6V name is already taken up by that camera? It's probably nothing, but it seems like an odd naming choice, would you agree? And no matter what camera you're using, it's not only important to set it up correctly so you get the best possible performance like I show you in my setup guides linked below, but it's also crucially important to learn the right editing skills to transform the raw files we take in the field into stunning final masterpieces. And to help you to get amazing results quickly, I developed my Lightroom and next generation Photoshop masterclasses. In my masterclasses, I teach you my easy-to-follow workflow step by step and show you the most important tools and techniques needed to master image editing and get amazing results from your own RAW files ready to be shared with the world. But of course, you won't just be watching, because I'm also providing you with my own RAW files so you can edit right alongside me. And if you're not sure if my masterclasses are worth it or the right fit for you, check out some of the amazing reviews that I receive on a daily basis from many happy students who I've helped to transform their editing lives, who now get great results with ease and actually enjoy the editing process. So if you need help to set up your camera for maximum performance, or finally want to get better at image editing and truly make your RAW files shine, check out my setup guides and masterclasses linked down there in the description. I know they will help you a lot. With Sony and Canon pushing out new cameras, it does make you wonder what Nikon is up to. Are we going to see a Z9 II this year? I really hope so. But with the development announcement of the new lens and no mentioning of a camera, I start to wonder if it might still be a little while off. What do you think? Are we going to see a Z9 II this year, or do we have to wait until 2027? At the same time, when I look at the great wildlife lenses and new releases from Sony and Nikon, I start to wonder, what does Canon's RF lens roadmap actually look like? At the moment, it's remarkably quiet. Especially when it comes to well-priced, high-performing lenses, the lineup is fairly thin and we only have the 100 to 500 and 200 to 800mm lenses. I would love to see Canon innovate in this space with some of the patterns we've seen in the past, like an f2.8 400 to f4 600mm zoom lens, or some well-priced mid-range options. There have been rumors on and off about Canon doing a f5.6 300 to 600mm lens that's hopefully not going to break the bank, but for now it has also gotten quite quiet around that one. Don't get me wrong, Canon makes great glass and I use it every day in the field, but at the same time I would love to see some more options coming in soon. Another rumor that has unfortunately gone quite quiet is the R7 Mark II. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you will have heard me saying that my own sources have said that the R7 Mark II release is not imminent, but many other rumor sites insisted that the camera was actually coming quite soon. Now I can't know for sure, but it doesn't feel like the R7 Mark II is coming in May, and it also feels like it's at least a few months away. And if waiting for this camera wasn't annoying enough, there was also a rumor floating around saying that the R7 Mark II may actually come with the same sensor as the current R7, which I truly hope is not true. Because the one thing that needs upgrading in the R7 Mark II is definitely the sensor with a lot less rolling shutter, because otherwise what's the point of even making it? If I get new information on the camera, I will instantly share it with you guys, but for now it seems like we just have to sit back and wait a little bit longer. Last week I posted a video on pre-capture, why it's so frustrating to use, why it fails you, and how to set it up properly. And if you haven't watched it yet, I think it's definitely worth watching after this one. DxO this week also released version 9 of their popular Nik collection. And if you've been watching any of my editing videos or masterclasses, you will know that I often use the Nik collection to clean up the images at the end of my editing process. In particular, I'm using the Pro Contrast, the Detail Extractor, and the White Neutralizer. These three filters specifically allow me to fine-tune the contrast in the images, bring back detail into almost blown out areas, and clean up any kind of color casts. I find them very helpful and they generally save me a lot of time. Beyond those three filters, the Nik collection obviously offers hundreds of other filters, great masking options, and now also a before and after slider that can come in very handy. It's a big toolbox with fantastic tools inside, and if you've never tried it, I'd definitely give it a go. And if you want to save yourself some money, you can use the code YARN15 at the checkout. And that's a wrap for today's photo news. Keep your eyes on the channel next week, it's gonna be a busy one. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one, bye!